Today in our Frankly Speaking studio, we have Phumzile, who has been a guest blog writer for us. He is an aspiring and very talented writer and wanted a platform to share his story and share his thoughts and learnings around investing.
One thing that led to me learning or being intentional about learning about investing was the fact that in 2016, while I was still a student at the time, I used to blow my money a lot. I'd be addressed randomly and I'd be thinking to myself that I need to buy myself takeaway. I need to buy myself new jeans. And those are not even things that I needed at the time. There became a point in my life where I thought to myself that this is not the right way to go. So I need to sort of change my ways.
How did you actually start? What was your first step?
I was more interested in the growth because, that's all we want. That's all we want. Like when you put in money, you want to see some growth eventually. That's what I thought about investing at the time. I thought if I put in this money in 5 months, I need to see it 10x.
If somebody watching this is, thinking about investing for the first time, where should they start?
As a start, I would say they should go to the...
Welcome everyone to another episode of Frankly Speaking, where we speak frankly about managing your money and investing with a no jargon approach. My name is Cassie Nudal. I'm head of growth at Franc, an investing app that's trying to make investing simple and accessible for more people. If you want to find out more about what we do and how to download the app, check out the description box below. And if you like what you see or hear, please like, comment, or subscribe for future episodes. This is a very special episode that I'm really excited about. Today in our Frankly Speaking studio, we have Phumzile, who has been a guest blog writer for us for the last 3 months. Hey, Phumzile?
3 months, yeah.
Yeah. And Phumzile reached out to us a few months ago because he is an aspiring and very talented writer and wanted a platform to share his story and share his thoughts and learnings around investing, which I love personally. I think it's such a great mission to have in one's life. And as a fellow writer myself, I understand that, need to share your writing and get feedback on it and share it with the world. And I was really excited to share more of his story with our wider audience and customer base, which is why we wanted to have you on the Frankly Speaking episode, because we'd love another avenue and another format, I guess, through which you can share your story with others, because I think it's a really inspiring one. I know it inspired me, and I think more people should hear about it. So welcome, Phumzile, to Frankly Speaking.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Cassidy.
Do you want to start by telling our audience a little bit about you and who you are and your background?
So my name is Phumzile. I grew up in the Eastern Cape. I was born there, grew up there till I was 17. I grew up in a village. I'm from a household of 2 hardworking parents. My father used to work for the Department of Agriculture, and my mother used to be a primary school teacher. She still is, by the way. So my mother used to teach accounting in school. She still does. And accounting was her favorite subject in school as well. So she prioritized us learning about money from a young age. She used to buy us those small tin money boxes growing up. And I'm the middle child of 2 siblings. So my siblings were very good academically compared to me. I was more the odd one out because I used to be pretty average at school. So, but at least when it came to investing or saving money, I at least had somewhere where I could compete with them, which was fun growing up. So around January each and every year, my mother would buy us these money boxes, and we'd only be allowed to open them around December, around Christmas. So it was always fun having that competition amongst ourselves as siblings, where we'd put in money, and then around Christmas you'd want to compete who's got more. So that was it. That was fun growing up. So yeah.
It sounds like you had a head start on most of us when it comes to money and learning about it, right? I feel like it's an unfair advantage.
Yeah, thanks awesome to having your mother as an accountant or a teaching accountant. Great. Yeah, so yeah, that's great. That was fun.
That's awesome. And Phumzile, how did you first get into investing? You obviously were always thinking about saving and managing your money, but when it came to actual investing, when did that start?
I think like with most other young people, my first exposure to investing was more to do with saving first, like having savings through your banking app. Say you're given 500 rands at home, knowing that there's that 100 rands that you need to put aside to save. But when it comes to investing per se, I would say that it was through reading. I remember I read this book by Robert Kiyosaki, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. I always credit that book as one book that really changed my life because it was my first year in Cape Town and I was feeling very sort of depressed at the time. So one thing that stood out for me from that book was the fact that the line that Robert Kiyosaki says that you need to invest in yourself. I think that's something that I wasn't aware of at the time, that there's value in also investing in yourself more than just the financial part, but you also need to put in resources to sort of better yourself. So also one thing that led to me learning or being intentional about learning about investing was the fact that in 2016, while I was still a student at the time, I worked at this other job in OBS. It was a part-time job, and I used to get paid a lot of money for me at the time. I used to get paid close to 10K, and for a part-time job, that's a lot of money. So I used to blow my money a lot. So I'd be addressed randomly, and I'd be thinking to myself that I need to buy myself takeaway. I need to buy myself new jeans, and those are not even things that I needed at the time. So I would say from those mistakes, there became a point in my life where I thought to myself that this is not the right way to go. So I need to sort of change my ways. So the first book I bought after that incident of sort of splurging money, it was Chika Onyeyani, the capitalist nigger book that I mentioned. And it also talked about the value of learning about investing your money, growing as a community, as well as sharing knowledge. So I'd say from those mistakes, there's a lot that I learned in terms of valuing your money, because I'd forgotten about the lessons that my mother taught me as a 10-year-old about putting money in a tin box at the time. So, yeah.
I feel like we always let go of those lessons that we learn as a child because we don't think it's relevant now, but actually sometimes it's very relevant. Yeah. That's awesome. So when you were obviously doing a lot of reading and researching around investing, how did you actually start? Like, what was your first step?
So my first step was and it's not that long time ago, probably around 2019, I think, when I was really doing like proper work. Someone told me about the Easy Equities app. I think it was a student at varsity, I think, at the time. So I didn't even have that much money because I was studying full time and I didn't have a part-time job at the time. But I just wanted to know, how does this thing work, and what can I do it? How can I do it? And the student who told me about it even explained how it works. You need to put in this much money, and this is how much it grows. I was more interested in the growth because, that's all we want. That's all we want. Like when you put in money, you want to see some growth eventually. So it was around 2019, I would say, around 2019 when I downloaded the Easy Equities app. And in as much as it wasn't a lot of money, but you'd see like after 5 months that the 200 rands that you put aside has maybe grown by 20 rands, which was very motivating.
That's awesome. And how did you first find out about the Franc app?
I first found out about the Franc app around 2022, which is very recent. I've always loved watching information and podcasts and reading about finance in general. So I was subscribed to, what's her name now? Oh, Nicolette Mashile's channel. So she was talking about the best platforms that young people can invest in, or where they can put their money. So one on the list there, I think Franc app was the first one on the list, and she was explaining how easy it is. So I just wanted to try this myself, and I downloaded the app, and it was really easy, by the way, so which is good. So I started learning about investing late 2021 from Nicolette Mashile's channel. I've always been subscribed to her channel. She was talking about different platforms where young people can put their money. So Franc app was on the list, and it was around December when I saw the video from Nicolette, but I only started putting in money away in April of the following year. So yeah, and it was quite straightforward and easy, and yeah, I've done it ever since, and I don't regret it.
That's awesome. So you've been investing since 2019. I mean, I'm assuming you've learned quite a few things along the way. I'm assuming that your investment strategy has changed because of that. Tell us more about your investing journey and kind of what the twists and turns are that it's taken over the years.
Okay, so I would say back in around 2019 when I started investing, it was more about seeing quick returns. That's what I thought about investing at the time. I thought if I put in this money in 5 months, I need to see it 10x, which is not realistic, by the way. So, but now I've gotten more accustomed or patient with the fact that investing is about patience. It's about knowing that this money that you put in, what do you see, like say 10 months from now or 2 years, or sometimes 10 years from now. So I would say I've grown to be more patient when it comes to investing. And as I mentioned earlier, one thing that I've also learned is that you need to also prioritize investing in your skills. I think more than anything, investing in your skills is also important. For example, as a contributor in the Frankly Speaking blog, I'm also taking short courses on writing now, because that's also part of me investing in my knowledge. So I would say investing is broad in the sense that you don't only need to look at it at the financial side. Maybe also invest in yourself, invest in your skills as well, as that also ultimately pays off.
And what do you think that you've taken from those early lessons with your mom, saving with your siblings, that you have found have stood you in good stead now in your investing journey as an adult?
I would say more than anything, patience, because even then when we were still kids, sometimes you'd be, let's say around April or around May, there's maybe say like an adult was giving you money and you'd want to open your tin box, but we'd get a hiding if we open it before Christmas. So more than anything, I would say patience. And now that I'm older, I think back then when I was still a kid, it wasn't that easy to be patient because you want to buy sweets, you want to take out the money and do anything that you want. So even now as an adult, if I'm investing for a goal that's in 2 years' time, I would say, in as much as that's not easy, and sometimes it's tempting to want to take out your money and spend it on some things. But I would say more than anything, one thing I've learned about investing is just being patient and knowing that this will ultimately pay off, maybe say 2 years or 3 years from now, depending on what it is that you're saving for. So
awesome. And Phumzile, I'm assuming you're not alone in this journey, that people around you, your friends are kind of investing as well. Do you guys share information with each other? Do you share strategies with each other? How have you found that your peers are in the investing space, I guess?
So I would say that as someone who has probably learned more about investing compared to my friends, due to being intentional about the books and the content I consume, I would say that at that stage that I also was in at the time of not being patient, because most people that I know are always thinking when can I get my money back? What will this money be, say, 10 months from now? And sometimes those are not questions that are easy to answer because things can go wrong in the market and everything. But I would say more than anything, one thing I've learned from people, they want certainty, which is not always guaranteed in investing. And also they want quick returns. So I would say more than anything, one thing that I've seen from people around me is impatience or wanting to see their money grow very quickly, which doesn't always happen in investing. But whenever I talk with them, I try to explain some of the concepts that I know, that you won't get your money like right now, or maybe say 5 months or 10 months from now. It won't be 2x like for that short of a period. So I would say more than anything, yeah, definitely. So I would say more than anything, practicing patience.
Awesome. And say, because your last blog post was around, resources that have really inspired your investing journey that you've learned a lot from. If somebody watching this is, thinking about investing for the first time, they have no baseline of knowledge around investing and managing their money, where should they start? What would your recommendation be? Obviously with your blog, so that they get a full list, but beyond that, what would you suggest that they do?
As a start, I would say they should go to the Frankly Speaking blog, because we've got everything there. They can even search the articles that are most relevant to them or that they want to start learning about. But beyond that, I would say to start small more than anything. You don't want to sort of deceive yourself and expect that you'll have your money 10x in like a year or 10 months from now. So I would say even like resources like the one that I found Franc app through, like Nicolette's channel. What's it?
Yeah.
I forgot the name now.
The Financial Bunny.
The Financial Bunny. Yeah, thank you. The Financial Bunny. So I would say start with those resources. Don't expect to be the next Warren Buffett. Start where you are, because investing is like planting trees or planting. Because if you put in something today, you don't expect that you'll get it tomorrow. It can take a few months or a few years from now. So just start where you are and start with the amount that you have. So yeah, I would say more than anything, just to be realistic with your situation and start small where you are.
So you've obviously been on this investing journey, and in many ways it started when you were a kid, with your mom teaching you how to save. What would you say your, I guess, ideas and views around investing were then when you started versus what they are now, and kind of how they've changed and evolved, and what has affected those changes in your ideas and views around investing?
Okay, so I would say back then, since I was a kid and also sort of competing, because I was investing, but I was also competing with my siblings, because you wanted to know that you had the bigger pile at the end of the year. So I would say more than anything now, I invest for my own, I would say focusing on your lane more than anything. If you want that thing that costs you, say, 10,000 rands and you cannot afford it, you don't need to beat yourself down or beat yourself up because maybe some people have it sooner than you have. So I would say letting go of comparison or comparing yourself with other people has been something that I've learned. And also, as I mentioned before, patience more than anything, knowing that what you want sometimes will take you longer than other people, because in as much as we want like nice things in life, I would assume, we won't get them at the same time. So sometimes just being okay with the fact that that thing that Cassidy has, I'll probably have it in the next 2 years. So yeah, more than anything, stopping comparing yourself, and then as well as patience. Yeah.
That's really great advice. I'm actually intrigued to know, Phumzile, what's the future hold for you? What's the big goal that you're kind of investing towards?
To be honest, right now I'm only investing towards my emergency account. I don't have like a big goal right now that I can think of.
Important fund to have.
Yeah, so it's just like an emergency fund for me, like just in case things go wrong. So, but for now, I don't have like a big goal. This is sort of a personal thing where I segue right now, but I've been working in my job now for the past 3 years, and I don't have a car yet. I haven't bought a car yet, and I always get those questions in my family: when are you buying a car? You've been working at this job for this so many years, and I probably could buy a car, but it's not really like something that's a priority for me at this point in my life. Yeah. So, as I mentioned before, you need to be intentional about the things that you want, and also not feel pressured because so many people have got those things. And this is not to sort of make other people feel bad, but sometimes even the people that have these things, some of them are not as free as you are. So also embrace the fact that you've got these very few responsibilities compared to them. So I would say just focus on your lane more than anything. So
I think it's going to be my tagline going forward. When it comes to finances, stay in your lane. I think that's a very good lesson to learn from this.
Definitely.
Awesome. Phumzile, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it. It was really good to hear more of your story, and we'll link out to your blog posts in the description box of the video below. So definitely have a read. As I mentioned, Phumzile is a great writer, and he writes with a lot of passion around his story and his resources. So have a read of those, and excited to hear and unpack more of your story with upcoming blog posts. So thanks so much, Phumzile.
Thank you so much, Cassidy.
And thank you so much to the audience for watching and for listening. If you liked what you saw or heard, please give us a like and a comment. We'd love to hear your feedback. And we'd love to hear more about your investing story as well. And if anything that we spoke about that Phumzile mentioned resonated with you, we'd love to hear that as well. Until next time, cheers.